Hi, welcome to AEET Story. I'm the host, Ashley. Today is Valentine's Day, and people usually like to show their love to your partner on this day. Do you know your love style is developed in your very early age? Psychologists have found that the way that infants attach to the major caregivers would significantly influence the security of intimacy and develop the attachment style. So now we are going to introduce the attachment theory. The first person who found this theory is psychologist John Bowlby. I'll invite one of our storyteller, Vivi, to introduce John Bowlby to us and also get to know what is attachment theory. Vivi, please.
So the first psychologist is John Bowlby. He was a British psychologist that was born in 1907 and died in 1990. So Edward John Moslin Bowlby was a psychologist, psychiatrist, and psychoanalyst. He was known for being the originator of attachment theory, researching child development and influencing modern-day psychology, education, childcare, and parenting. In 1950, he became a mental health consultant to the World Health Organization. Edward Bowlby was born in London to an upper-middle-class family. Believing that too much parental affection and attention would spoil a child, his parents spent only a small amount of time with him each day, and later at the age of 7, sent him to a boarding school in which he later described as a traumatic experience. In 1949, the World Health Organization commissioned Bowlby to write a report on the mental health of homeless children in Europe. In 1951, the resultant work, Maternal Care and Mental Health, was published. In it, he wrote, "The infant and young child should experience a warm, intimate, and continuous relationship with his mother, or permanent mother substitute, one person who steadily mothers him, in which both find satisfaction and enjoyment." His resulting theory suggested that the earliest bonds formed by children with their caregivers have a tremendous impact that continues throughout life. According to Bowlby, attachment also serves to keep the infant close to the mother, thus improving the child's chances of survival. The central theme of Bowlby's attachment theory is that mothers who are available and responsive to their infant's needs establish a sense of security. The baby knows that the caregiver is dependable, which creates a secure base for the child to feel safe to explore the world. Bowlby's attachment theory consists of 4 stages of attachment. The first is pre-attachment, which occurs from birth to 6 weeks, in which babies recognize their primary caregiver but do not yet have an attachment. Their crying and fussing draw the attention and care of the parent, which is rewarding to both the child and the caregiver. As this stage progresses throughout about 3 months, infants begin to recognize the parents more and develop a sense of trust. Next is indiscriminate stage, which occur between 6 weeks to 7 months. In this stage, infants shows a distinct preference for the primary caregiver as well as certain secondary caregivers in their lives. Next is discriminate, which occurs from 7 months and above. The children show a strong attachment to one individual and will experience separation, distress, and anxiety when parted from that person. Last is multiple attachment, which occurs from 10 months old and on. The child begins to develop strong attachment to people beyond the primary caregiver. John Bowlby's research on attachment and child development left a lasting impression on psychology, education, childcare, and parenting. His work also influenced other eminent psychologists, including his colleague, Mary Ainsworth, who also made significant contribution to attachment theory by expanding on Bowlby's research to develop a method for observing a child's attachment to a caregiver.
Okay, thank you, Vivi. Attachment theory is formed by John Bowlby, and his colleague, Mary Ainsworth, designed a strange situation to observe the early emotional attachment between a child and its primary caregiver. Now, I'll invite storyteller Lisa to join us and share us this famous development test, strange situation, and also introduce Mary Answers to us. Lisa, please.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. So next I'm gonna introduce you guys the one famous female psychologist, and also she's a colleague of John Bowlby. Her name is Mary Answers. So who is Mary Answers? She was an American-Canadian developmental psychologist known for her work in the development of the attachment theory. She designed the strength situation procedure to observe early emotional attachment between a child and its primary caregiver. Okay, so this test was designed by Mary Answers, which is so-called the strength situation test. It has become one of the most commonly used procedures in child development research. It was developed in 1973 to observe early emotional attachment between a child and its primary caregiver. And there are three different type models between child and caregiver. First one, secure attachment. Second, anxious insecure attachment. And thirdly, avoidant insecure attachment. Okay, there are some features will be happened under these three different attachments. So the first one, secure attachment. This happens when a child is very attached to the mother. Usually this child will explore and engage with others when the mother is in the room. But when the mother leaves, this child will show negative emotions. The child shares their feelings immediately. And this kind of child will show empathy for others and tries to comfort another child in distress. Then second one, anxious insecure attachment. Children will with anxious insecure attachment were not easily comforted when distressed and took a long time to calm down. When mother leaves, the child cannot explore and continue play. However, when mother comes back, children act resentful and upset to the mother. He or she tries to move away from her. Then thirdly, avoidant insecure attachment. The child is at ease interacting with a stranger and won't turn to their parents for comfort. The child is quite happy to run off and explore and will not return to the safe base of their parents for a quick hug. And this kind of child is super self-reliant and prefer to figure out everything by themselves. Okay, so the three attachment style what I mentioned before can also fit in the adulthood. So the people who are in secure attachment, they are confident to interact with people. And if they encounter some difficulties, they will ask for help immediately. Then second, the people who are under avoidant insecure attachment, they prefer alone and they are not easily to express their feelings to other people. Then thirdly, the people who are under anxious insecure attachment, they are always afraid of being refused and they are resist to keep the close connect with other people. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lisa. Nowadays, many people believe that the early childhood attachment style will extend to your adulthood. The first two psychologists state this idea on Journal of Personality and the Social Psychologists are Felix Sheffer and Cindy Hazen. Now, our storyteller Alan will introduce these two psychologists and have also introduced the four attachment style. Alan, please.
Okay. Philip Sheffer and Cindy Hazen present that the possibility that love and work in adulthood are functionally similar to attachment and exploration in infancy and early childhood was investigated. They believe that the earliest model forms were the most likely to stick with us because they exist in the subconscious. In 1987, Cindy Hazen and Philip Shriver extended attachment theory to include adult romantic relationship. They identified 4 styles of romantic attachment in adults. First one is secure. Securely attachment adults tend to be trusting, trustworthy, and well endowed with self-esteem. They demonstrate high regard for themselves, their partners, and their relationship, and they are able to balance the need for intimacy and independency in a relationship. So, the second one is anxious preoccupied. Anxious preoccupied adults are overly dependent on their partners and seek high levels of intimacy, approval, and responsiveness from partners. Becoming overly dependent, they tend to be less trusting, have this positive view about themselves and their partners. Next one is dismissive avoidant. Dismissive avoidant adults view themselves as self-sufficient, invulnerable to attachment feeling, and not needing close relationship. They tend to suppress their feelings, dealing with rejection by distancing themselves from partners of whom they often have a poor opinion, uncomfortable without close emotional relationships. And the last one, fearful avoidant. Fearful avoidant adults have mixed feelings about close relationship, both desiring and feeling uncomfortable with emotional closeness. They tend to mistrust their partners and view themselves as unworthy. Fearful avoidant adults tend to seek this intimacy and suppressing their feelings. According to the studies, there is 40% adults identify themselves as having an insecure attachment style, and there is 60% adults classify themselves as having a secure attachment style. And there is also a questionnaire for testing your attachment style.
Yes. So what is your attachment style will influence your love story? If you would like to know what is your attachment style, please click the link below. And you will see what is your attachment style and how you love your partner. Okay, so do you find a link? And if you find it, please open it and we can start the exam. Why are you doing this exam? We are going to play a love song called Way Back into Love.
I've been living with a shadow overhead. I've been sleeping with a cloud above my bed. I've been lonely for so long, trapped in the past. I just can't seem to move on.
I've been hiding all my hopes and dreams away, just in case I ever need them again someday. I've been setting aside time to clear a little space in the corners of my mind. All I wanna do is find our way back into love. I can make it through without our way back into love. Oh.
Have you finished the exam and know what is your love style? No matter you are currently in secure or not secure attachment, your world will still be love. Intimacy is very important to everyone because we feel love and we like to share our love in our close relationship. Therefore, we all have to know how to love each other. And since we are 6 months old, we already use our attachment style to influence our close relationship. So wish you all have a great Valentine's Day and wish you love. And if you haven't subscribed us, please subscribe us. There is a QR code downstairs. You can know us more and get more our information. Okay, have a good Valentine's Day and see you next time. Bye bye.